Welcome to the TikTok Drop Capsule, where we unpack the internet's most painfully human stories, the kind that make you laugh, cry, and question why your dream job ghosted you harder than your ex.
Every time I think I'm not going to get emotional, I end up getting emotional. But basically, this is my second time in the past, I think 3 years, being laid off from, honestly, somewhat of a dream job. And while I'm so incredibly grateful to be given opportunities to work in really cool industries and with really cool people, it is draining. Not only is it really draining working corporate sometimes, but working in a field that tends to have a lot of layoffs, because even when you have a job, it never really feels that secure. And the irony of it is I'm a recruiter and I have been for the last 7 years. So I literally work in hiring and I work with people who either lose their jobs or are transitioning jobs all the time. But when it happens to you, you still don't really know what to do. And even when you know that the layoff is not your fault and there's not really much you could have done, even in this last role, I was literally promoted 3 months ago, and then last Friday was my last day. So even knowing that there's nothing I could have done and getting feedback that there's nothing that I could have done, it's hard because a part of you is really proud of your work and where you've gotten in your career. And so it feels like rejection when it gets taken away from you, and that part really sucks. I did not think this was going to be a come on here and cry video, because I've literally never done that on social media, but I was hoping maybe I was going to have something more inspirational to share. Unfortunately, at this time I do not. Just know that it sucks, and yeah, if this has happened to you, I'm in your boat, and it's okay, I think, to be emotional about it. Especially, I mean, I'm American, so especially living in a culture that really prides themselves on their work and their careers, and attaches a lot of value to that, it's okay to be a little sad. And at the same time, historically, people tend to figure things out and move on to bigger and better opportunities. So yeah, I'm just holding on to that rejection is just redirection, even when it doesn't feel like it at the time.
Does anybody know what's going on? So I've done applied at least about 100 jobs, I say, in the past 4 months, right? Every time I get the interview process, I still get denied. My resume looks good. I had somebody do it, fix it up for me. I just don't know what to do. I even went to a server job, did an interview, and got denied. I feel like that's one of the easiest jobs to get. I don't know what's going on at all. This shit is just crazy.
Today's drop: unemployment in 2025. The emotional gym membership none of us signed up for. It starts with a confession that hits like a punchline from the universe. Next month will be officially 1 year since I've been unemployed. 1 whole year. She got laid off from her agency job, networked with everyone, or tried to, but no one's responding. She's been to final interviews, smiled through, "We really loved you, but," and applied to over 8,000 jobs, even internships, even jobs that pay less than her rent. And she's still standing there like, what else do you want from me? Blood? A resume scented with tears? It's like the job market collectively decided to play Squid Game, but the only prize left is exposure.
At this point, I think it would be easier to infiltrate Fort Knox than get a job. I've been applying to jobs for 2 years now. The last one I did 6 interviews. 6 interviews. They didn't even send me a rejection email. This was 3 months ago. I have done no less than 25 interviews over the past 2 years. I got rejected for a sales associate position at Glossier. A sales associate position.
Next month will be officially 1 year since I have been unemployed and got laid off from my agency job. I've networked with barely anybody responding back to me. I've interviewed, got to multiple last rounds, always got the same feedback that they went with somebody with more experience, but I was a great candidate. I've applied to over 1,000 jobs. I've applied to even low-paying jobs. I've applied to internships. I don't know what else to do. I ask questions at the end of the interview. I get to know them. Like, I don't know what else they want from me.
And she's not alone. Across TikTok, you'll find an entire generation in professional limbo, overqualified, underpaid, and deeply caffeinated. One creator surviving off severance, savings, and vibes, canceling subscriptions, cutting cocktails, and hydrating her way through nightlife. She's out here saying, I still go out, but I drink water. That's not broke. That's monk mode fabulous.
I'm ugly crying right now because I have not made any money at all, and unemployment still hasn't paid me. And I've had a couple people interested in taking my apartment, but then they just fell through last second, and I'm like, we're days away from July 1st, and I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna pay rent. Like, I had no idea, and I've have half of it. And I just won this fucking giveaway, which I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like, I won a travel, so I was like, I can use this for my birthday, because it was just a travel gift card. And they go, yeah, we can give this to you, or you can pick cash. You can choose your prize. And I'm like, there was no cash in the giveaway stuff below. It never said anything about cash. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, how does the cash work? And they're like, we'll just Venmo you. And I'm like, I literally responded, I was like, you guys don't even know how much you're blessing me right now. This is insane. So I knew I won, and I was like, okay, let's just wait, because you don't know if it's actually gonna happen. And they just fucking Venmoed me the money, and I'm like, I really needed it, and now I can pay my rent, and I have another month to find a job and figure things out instead of scrambling and being super stressed. It just feels unreal, and it's weird because I just was talking about I had this feeling I wasn't supposed to leave and sublet. I had a feeling something was gonna work out. I had no idea what. And this giveaway today, I can't even believe it. I'm just so blessed. Unreal.
Then you've got the California hustler, our unemployment Jedi. She's cracked the bureaucracy matrix, unemployment benefits, covered California, CalFresh, affordable Wi-Fi. She's basically the Tony Stark of survival programs. She's like, you can't buy a rotisserie chicken with food stamps. And we're like, girl, fine, we'll roast it ourselves. Because when life says no hot food, you preheat the oven out of spite.
I have been unemployed since 2023 when I got laid off from my full-time job as a senior director of equity for a large nonprofit foundation. I was denied SNAP every time I applied, which was about 5 times in the last 2 years. For those of you newly going through layoffs or are worried about losing your SNAP benefits, here are 3 things that I've done that have helped me. 1, I made friends with the people in my community who have chickens. In the city where I live, you can have up to, I believe, 8 chickens. And fortunately for me, on my block, there's at least 4 houses of people who have chickens. And that means eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein. You can have them at pretty much any meal. And so when given, we stock up on eggs. I honestly don't know the last time we bought eggs as a family. Between my neighbors and my grandmother, who volunteers at the food bank, who gets food after her volunteer shifts and often brings them to us, we've been pretty good when it comes to food. Second thing, when I got laid off, I had to put my mortgage on forbearance. Once I did that, I applied for a work placement program that was provided by a nonprofit institution in my state, and they paid for me to get a certification of my choosing. At the time, kind of regretting it now, but at the time I thought, oh, AI is up and coming. Let me get a certificate in generative AI. So I did. I have a certificate in generative AI from Cornell, and it was completely paid for by this organization. It has immensely helped me in my productivity as someone who is also late diagnosed ADHD and was really struggling getting back into the workforce, into job applications, into just like organization and management and things like that after I got laid off. So if you are in a state that has really good programs, I really encourage you to look into some of those programs and see what you could get, especially for free, and if not for free, at least at a lower cost. The last thing, I became good friends with my local library. One of the worst things about not having a job is not having access to regular income, which means not having the ability to necessarily go out and do things that cost lots of money. But I love doing things. So every week I look at my local library's event calendar and I see what's going on. Whether it's story time, a speaker, a reading series. I'm currently taking a sewing class at my local library that happens once a week. The library offers so many free activities for you, for kids, for the community, for your family. And there's books, there's DVDs, there's movies, there's study rooms, there's computers, there's everything that you could possibly need or want is at the library. Become friends with the library. Finding creative ways to have fun without spending a lot of money has been a journey. But honestly, it's so worth it not participating in all of the glitz and glam that capitalism tries to sell you. I'm gonna make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and go have a picnic in the park. Instead of spending $20 to go to some kind of party, I'm just gonna invite all my friends over to hang out at my house. Get creative and get your community solid. It is what will see you through.
Meanwhile, the giveaway miracle girl turned divine timing into rent money. She was days away from eviction, crying on camera, when a random giveaway, yes, a giveaway, paid her rent. The universe literally Venmo'd her. She said, "You guys don't even know how much you're blessing me right now." Ma'am, we do. We're crying with you. Sometimes the algorithm gives us exactly what we need, and sometimes it's just tears and capitalism. And let's not forget the spreadsheet warriors, the ones who know exactly how long they can survive on severance, unemployment, and emergency savings. They're budgeting like NASA's watching. One said, "I can last 10 months without bleeding." 10 months, that's a survival arc. That's not a budget, that's a Netflix series.
I've been unemployed now for 7 months, and I've learned a lot about how to navigate all of these different institutions, especially if you live in California. So I just wanted to share some of the tips and tricks I've learned along the way and how to get financial support. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is unemployment in California, unemployment benefits. So you can apply for unemployment and you can get benefits for up to a year. The caveat here is that the amount that you're getting is going to be limited. So some people choose to work a part-time job and collect unemployment benefits so they can stretch the benefits out further. For me, I just decided to collect them all basically within the 6 months period before I tapped them out. When you're gonna get unemployment, you're going to get it in a card that's going to be mailed to you, but you can actually have the option to changing it to go directly into your bank account. I don't exactly remember the steps, but you can look it up online. Now, applying for unemployment, this is like literally step 1 because this will qualify you for a ton of other things. I use this organization called Ask Ariana. I'll put the name here. Highly recommend it. You don't have to use them at all. This is just like, they were helpful for me. I used them. They walked me through the process. So you can get coverage through Covered California, and you qualify for this once you start collecting unemployment. However, once your unemployment stops, and if you're making $0 a month, that's when you will qualify for Medi-Cal and you can start receiving that. The next thing that you can qualify for a state-assisted program called CalFresh, which essentially is food stamps, where you fill out some documentation and you show that you're receiving unemployment benefits, and from there you can start receiving this debit card that has a certain amount of money on it per month. That's completely free. Of course, you are going to be taxed on this. You might be owing taxes on this in the future, but it's like a good amount to tie you over to at least buy groceries. Caveats here is that you can't buy any prepared food, so you can only buy fresh food. So for example, if I went to the grocery store and bought like one of those rotisserie chickens, that would not qualify for this CalFresh benefit. And the last thing I want to talk about, this is actually something I learned on TikTok. This is called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it's expiring at the end of April 2024. Apply for the program, you get accepted, you then tell your provider that you're a part of the program, and they deduct it immediately from your bill on a monthly basis. So just another really great way to get some financial assistance during that time. These are all the resources I know of and the things that I've been able to tap in during my time of unemployment and how I've been able to still remain afloat in ways, but would love to learn if you all have any other resources. So definitely keep me posted. I've been sharing a lot about my unemployment journey and more specifically job hunting journey, especially in the tech atmosphere on here on TikTok. So if you're interested, definitely follow along in my journey.
Then there's the recruiter who got recruited by unemployment. She's been helping people find jobs for 7 years until she lost hers. She was promoted 3 months before being laid off. Corporate America said, "Congrats on your new role, now clean out your desk." And when she cried on camera, it wasn't performative. It was the sound of every overworked soul realizing stability is just a myth with a 401k plan. And if that wasn't enough, there's a growing chorus of job seekers saying, "I've done everything right. Tailored resumes, networking, follow-ups, and still nothing." People applying to server jobs and still getting rejected. Like, how do you fail an interview to carry plates? It's not incompetence, it's an economy doing the limbo under its own expectations. One woman said recruiters told her she was a great candidate, but they went with someone with more experience. Translation, you were perfect, but we wanted a unicorn with 20 years of experience and a $15 an hour salary expectation. Make it sense. And yet,
I have been unemployed for 4 months now, and I get this question asked pretty often, even in my personal life. How do I continue to live my life comfortably without any income? For some background info, I was working a 9-to-5 corporate job. I got laid off back in October, and it is now January, almost February 2025, and I've applied to so many jobs and I still don't have one. No, my parents are not helping me or any family is helping me. I'm totally single as well, so no partner helping me. Basically, so when I got laid off, I did get 6 weeks of severance, so I was still getting paid normally for like a month and a half. And then also I did get a really quick, like 3-week temporary job. I was working at the mall in retail, and that did help quite a lot because I was working almost 40 hours a week, just taking so many people's shifts, even though it was a part-time job. I made about like $1,000 working in retail for that short amount of time, and that did really help a lot with like paying for my rent and my car and any other bills that I have. But aside from the severance from my company and that quick little retail job, I do have a good amount of savings just from so many jobs that I've worked over the years since I was like 17, 18. I've always been able to save and always made sure that I could, take a certain percentage out of my paycheck and save some money. I also did cut out quite a few expenses, so I canceled a whole bunch of subscriptions. I had like Hulu, HBO, I had a ClassPass subscription, all that I had to cancel. And when it came to like going out, my friends and I like to go out and have drinks on the weekends and get food. I had to do way less of that. So I'd still go out with them and look cute, but I just drink water. And I still had a great time. It's really not that big of a deal. And then of course I had to stop ordering takeout for myself. So just cooking a lot at home and less shopping, less coffees, less matchas, less cocktails. And yeah, that's basically what I did. And then all of January, I was in the Philippines with my family, and I literally just got back like a couple days ago, and I am back to trying to find another job. The hunt is on. It is still rough out here in the job market. Well, it's rough out here really in the whole United States, unfortunately. But yes, if you guys have any other questions, please let me know.
Despite all that, the ghosting, the rejections, the crying on camera, there's a quiet revolution happening. People are learning to live slower, spend smarter, and actually feel again. The pressure to perform success is cracking, and in its place, we're seeing real connection. Maybe success in 2025 isn't a LinkedIn announcement. Maybe it's cooking dinner at home and not spiraling. Maybe it's finding joy in your Wi-Fi discount. Maybe it's knowing that crying on TikTok isn't weakness. It's proof you're still trying.
So, I was recently unemployed from my professional full-time job, my salaried job, laid off with a bunch of other people. I'm 6 months pregnant, and we're a two-income family, so this is quite impacting. My goal for today, I'm a very organized planner. So every week since layoff, I've had a plan for what I'm going to do, including job searching, job applications. But today, my focus is on applying to benefits and aid. I've never had to use government aid before, but I have no insurance and I'm pregnant, so I really need some type of coverage and need help while I figure out and find another job. So today, filing for unemployment as well as other benefits. I've never done this before, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I qualify and we can get a little bit of relief here in the short term.
So if you're watching this from your couch, in your pajamas, surrounded by rejection emails and half-finished coffee, breathe. You're not behind, you're just in between. And that in between is where reinvention begins. Because the job market may be frozen, but your story isn't over. The comeback is already downloading. It's just buffering. Thanks for watching the TikTok Drop Capsule. If this made you laugh, cry, or question your career path, send it to that one friend who's surviving off vibes and instant noodles. Remember, you're not unemployed. You're in transition, and transitions are where the best plot twists happen.